All right, so this is a Savvy Guy video. I have not done a reaction video to Savvy Guy yet. I mean, he's been around the whole mental health community for quite some time now. Like around similar time, like he didn't succeed. So here he talks about not listening to other men who tell you about your situation. And yeah, the title itself, I agree. But let's go see the video, or rather, listen to it.
What's going on, guys? Back with another late night discussion. And I'm going to talk to you guys about something that's so real. Don't allow other men to tell you anything about your life. Because what do they know? See, you got some men, they think just because they get a lot of booty
That's
and
true.
just because they never had trouble with women that they're going to tell you something. Ever since I was a teenager, I never listened to no advice that people had to give me. Because it's funny how you got other men that think they're going to tell you something, or, from the time you're a teenager, other guys, they think they're going to tell you something, but they're not living your life. And their
Yeah,
reality is not your reality. I never, ever since I was an adolescent, I never listened to what nobody got to tell me. And
I
that
think that's a good skill to have. Just minding your own business and take whatever things people say and leave the ones that you don't that doesn't really that's you will disagree with. I mean, like for again, whoever watched my video of when I left I left my personal trainer. I quit on him, and he's 21 years old. And one of the reasons is because he's naive. He's barely an adult, and he's all he's supposed to do is just give me advice of how to to work out better, how to lift weights better, how to diet better. That's his forte. That's why I came to him, not hear some delusional Tony Robbins advice, especially when he's barely been an adult and he doesn't know much of the job market and anything else. So yeah, and I called him a kid. He didn't like it, but it's not because I'm looking down on him. It's because he's underdeveloped and he doesn't know he's still very young. So he hasn't been through the life struggles like myself and other guys in their 30s and 40s and up have been through.
going sure am not going to listen to nobody at 35. I don't, at this point in my life, I don't care to hear what nobody got to tell me because I predicted how my life was going to play out when I was a teenager. Shows how smart and brilliant I am. See, how many of you guys knew that you was destined to lose? How many of you guys knew that from the time you was an adolescent that you was never going to have no female? Because I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who predicted his future. See, you got a lot of dudes who think they're going to tell you something.
Okay, yeah, and that's the thing that now I disagree with Savvy Guy, especially when he said like you're a loser if you don't have a woman. I mean, like okay, that mentality is there when you're a teenager, maybe you're early to mid 20s, but you shouldn't think that way, especially nowadays. I mean, especially if you're past 30 and you see the way the economy, how horrible the economy is, how negative social media can be. Like you don't want to make women and having kids your end goal or your ultimate goal, because if that's the case you're pretty much done for. Instead, your main priority is your own self, is building your own self-worth, building security with your finances. And I'm not trying to say that you have to have a lot of money or be upper middle class, but at least a fair amount that you can cover your butt for several months, if not years. If you lose one of or all of your income, that's that. And you would need some kind of emergency money and some retirement funds, especially if you're in your 30s, or I would say, to be a little more generous, 33 and up. That's what I would say. I mean, women should not be the ultimate end goal.
When their reality has been the complete opposite of yours. See, you can never listen to attractive people giving you advice about life. See, attractive people are so oblivious. A lot of
Yeah,
attractive people are so
it's
dumb.
true.
They don't realize that their looks is what granted them all the success that they have in their life. It's not your personality. It's not God doing it for you. You just got a face that people deem as worthy. So you can never
Okay,
listen
well,
to attractive people who want to give you advice on your love
yeah,
life.
like
And
okay, like I meant it's true. Like, don't listen to other attractive normie guys. Yeah, don't. But at the same time, I'm gonna disagree that it's not always about the looks. It's not always about that. I mean, granted, if you're a sub 5 or uglier, yeah, it's a struggle. There's no denying that it's a struggle. If you're 5'1", your looks, you're a sub 2 Subway eat fresh kind of guy, but it's not the end game. Yeah, so I do have my agreements and disagreements with Savvy Guy.
this is why I say don't let other men tell you about your life. How is another man? How is another man gonna tell you about your circumstances in your life? He ain't been in your position and he hasn't lived your life. So how he gonna give you advice about your life? This is why I say to you guys, don't listen to other men who try to give you advice. Don't listen to other guys because some of these same dudes who giving you advice, they never been in your position no way. Them type of dudes, they never been in your position no way. So don't let another man think he gonna tell you about your life because if a dude hasn't lived your life, what advice can he give you? That's why I'm not trying to hear nothing that nobody got to tell me. I wasn't trying to hear it back when I was a teenager. I'm definitely not going to hear it at 35 years old. And I advise any of you guys, don't let other men try to tell you about what you need to do with your life and try to tell you what you need to do as far as your dating life because they haven't lived your life. And as a grown man, you know your circumstances. You know how your life has been from the time you was a teenager all the way up to now. So it's nothing that nobody can tell you. Because I think to myself, what can somebody tell a 35-year-old man about why he don't have a woman? You've lived longer. I mean, even if you're a dude that's in your 20s, you've lived long enough to know why you ain't got no woman. Women think you're ugly. That's why you don't have nobody. So don't allow other men to tell you about your love life because you know your
Okay,
situation better.
so what he's saying, yes, it's true. Don't let other men tell you about what your situation is. But from what I see with the other videos, it's almost like he's contradicting himself when he keeps talking about women, women, women. That's what. And I mean, okay, let's continue on.
Better than
Let's
anybody else know.
continue on.
You know your situation. You know your circumstances. You know women don't like you. They never have and never will. That's why I'm not trying to hear what nobody got to tell me, especially at this point in my life. You know, I'm to the point where I end up cursing somebody out at this point. That's really the level that I'm on if it came down to it because I'm not trying to hear it. And I'm sure a lot of guys are at the level where they'll end up cursing somebody out, especially when you got another man who think he gonna tell you about your circumstances and about why you don't have no woman in your life. Give me a break. And people know deep down why certain men don't have a woman anyway. Especially if you're a man and you've struggled all your life when it comes to females. People know why you ain't got nobody. People just like playing dumb. That's all. People just
Again,
like to play stupid.
again, he's right that you shouldn't let other guys tell you what to do, but at the same time, it's pretty much contradictory from what he's going at because he's talking about women, women, women. Like he's caring so much about being single and just not focusing so much on how to make his finances better or his self-worth. I mean, I don't know his finances too much. I don't watch that much Savvy Guy. I've seen some of his videos, but from what I've seen, um especially with his what was it? His when he talked about how he wants to invest money into crypto and stocks. Again, good idea. That's great. I mean, but when he talks about investing $1, I'm not trying to dollar. I'm not trying to shame him. It's fine, but it just implies that he doesn't really have that much money to his name. And I mean, this is not me to tell you guys invest a lot of money. But what I'm trying to get at is like $1 is way too tiny to be investing into stocks. Even just a few $100 is already enough. Even just $100 is enough to just start out. But I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to make assumptions. I don't really know his financial situation, but if he lost his income or all of his incomes and he can't cover himself for 6 months, then that goes to show that he's financially bad off. Like he can't cover himself for 6 months without borrowing money, taking a loan, or selling stuff. Then he's pretty much like he's doing horribly financially for his age, 35. He and I are the same age. So,
They know
yeah.
exactly why you don't have no wife. They know exactly why you don't have any children, because women think you're unattractive. That's all it is. They just don't like you. And see, I know a lot of guys that are in these types of positions get scrutinized by other men. But those other men who try to give you advice on your situation, they haven't endured the pain and agony that you've endured. So they don't understand your situation. You know, that's why I say this situation is not something that you can talk about with everybody. You know, I wouldn't even talk about being an undesirable man with certain dudes because certain guys can't even relate to this kind of stuff. So, you know, it'll turn into an argument talking to those types of men anyway. Uh, some dudes, we were just born to lose. You know, everybody, you know, we were born to lose. That's all I can say. You know, if you were born, if you know that you was a dude who was born to lose, put a salute in the comment section. If you know you was a dude that was born to lose, you know, I'll pop a bottle of champagne one day and do a champagne review. Salute, we was all born to lose. You know, and I've gotten to a point to where
Man, I
I'm not
mean,
even ashamed of being a loser no more because I know it was my destiny from
like,
day one. How many of you guys knew it was your destiny from day one to lose, to crash and burn, you know, to be a dude that's not selected by women? How many?
yeah, see, that's his definition of being a loser, not being with women. That's not the case. Again, I don't mean to sound like a broken record. You can call me out for any like whatnots, what ifs, you knows, anyways, all you can, but like this is this this kind of mentality, you can't have that. That's not your, like, women should not be the end goal. That's not it. I mean, like he did talk about how, I think, what was one of his older videos when he talked about wanting to win the lottery, and the first thing that comes into his mind, he'll impress women. He'll get to buy women, have like buy up all the Gucci, buy up fancy cars. And I mean, if you have that mentality, you're fucked. You're nothing but a scrutinized man. You pretty much shot your own fate. You're gonna fall down way harder than where you're at right now, realistically. You know, that's the problem here. It's like that's not supposed to be like you're not a loser when you're not with a woman. You're a loser if you can't take care of yourself. If you lack a decent amount of self-worth, and you think that women is your ultimate end goal, and you'd rather go broke for her, then you're definitely bound to lose. I mean, there are other married guys and formerly married guys who regret getting married or just being with somebody. Like marriage is not always the 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 successful life. I mean, just I don't want to put his name out there, but just ask the real life Wojak. Look at what happened with him. He got married, he had kids, but then like look what happened. He did not have a successful life. I wish for the guy. I'm not trying to put his name out there, but I mean he's a great dude. I wish for this guy to have success, to make a real good comeback. And it looks like with his YouTube channel, he's actually doing better for himself. I'm happy to see that. I hope he can gain more subs and gain more success for himself, especially being in his mid 40s where it's really hard to come back. You know, all right, going back to Savvy Guy, like this is the kind of thing that you can't think about. You cannot think that, oh, well, getting women, I'm going to be successful. No, you got to like really have a decent amount of self-worth and have decent finances for yourself. That's just what I want to say. And keep yourself healthy. I myself sometimes lack self-worth. I slur with my words. I know some dude who was obsessed with counting how many whatnots that I say in my previous video. And you know what? That's fine. Go ahead. Count how many whatnots. I can do a fundraiser, a $1 fundraiser if you want. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. I'm not here to collect money. I was just being sarcastic. But yeah, I have my issues. Even I have to tell myself that I shouldn't act a certain way.
Many of you guys knew because those middle school years and those high school years, those years told the story right there. Those years told how the rest of your life was gonna play out. You know, all I say is don't let no other man try to tell you about your situation because you got a lot of men who try to attack men who are not desired by women, and they think they're gonna tell you something. Nobody ain't gonna tell me nothing, and I advise you guys to not let nobody tell you nothing either, because at a certain age, you got common sense. you know why you in your predicament, and you know why females were never receptive to you. You know, see, people think men who are not desired by women are dumb or slow. They think we not in tune to why we've been in our predicament. I always knew my predicament from the time I was very young. I mean, my own father let me know that I was a failure, so I was destined to lose. But see,
Man.
other men think that guys in our position are slow and we don't understand why we in our situation. A lot of
Okay,
us understand very clear our situation. We
sort of in his defense though, if he grew up being in a household where where other family members will tell you if you're not married, you're not living up to it. Okay, I could kind of sympathize with him because it seems like a thing that he can't let go of. But if it's not the case, then I don't know what else is. So
really understand very clear. I understood my situation very, very young, seventh grade. I knew I was destined to lose. So that's why don't let nobody tell you about your life or tell you about your problems. Because you got a lot of guys who like to beat up on dudes who are not wanted by women. They think they're going to tell you something. But all I can say is, you know your situation better than anybody. You know your life story better than anybody. So all I want to say before I end this late night discussion, don't let no other man tell you about your life.
yeah,
Because they don't know
those
what they're talking about.
that
They haven't
stuff
walked a
can
mile
be
in your shoes.
true.
They haven't lived your life. So don't listen to nothing they got to tell you. And that's the attitude I got. That's the attitude I've been had. You know? That's why I just say don't listen to what nobody got to tell you. Because how they gonna give you some advice when they ain't never lived your life? People love to assume. But you make a donkey out yourself when you assume. But on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and sign out. You got
Okay, that's it for from the savvy guy. Uh, he's a good dude. He seems like a good guy with a lot of heart. It's just the problem was that putting women as his top priority and assuming that he's a loser when he doesn't have women. That's not the case. You're not a loser. You're only a loser if you allow women to run all over you. You can be married and have kids, but if you're not together, you're gonna go broke, and you're gonna end up broke. You're gonna end up in heavy debt possibly, and you're gonna be unhealthy. That's just what it is. And like for me, I don't want to have kids myself because there's just it's not just with the finances, but it's also there's so many negative influences going around, especially with the way social media is. Like one day my kid would love me and we would look like we're unbreakable, and then the next day they'd be negatively influenced by their classmates, social media and all that kind of stuff, and they're already rebelling against me. So it's why I don't want to have kids. And again, this guy is thinking that having a woman, having kids is the pathway to success, when that's not the case. It's really self-worth, your finances, and your own health, your mental and physical health are the ones that are key. Your That's your security. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching this. The link is in the description down below. Again, I am not trying to knock down Savvy Guy. I think again he's a great dude, but he just doesn't have the right concepts. That's He just thinks that women is the ultimate, is the main thing. And I'm not trying to tell him don't stop talking about women. It's okay to talk about your dating struggles, but maybe here and there, but not make it so much to where more than 35-40% of your content is about struggling with women. So that's a problem. But that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching this. Have a good one.